your tune. I'm going to get some water.
Okay.
Okay. Well, you're not used to modern music or contemporary music?
No. I should probably listen to it more. I remember I went to an Ives concert and I was like,
You know that Ives is more than 100 years old. It's not like contemporary.
well, I went to one of his concerts and I was like, this was interesting. It sounded like a hot mess. That's all I gotta say. Literally, there was two conductors. One conductor was conducting one half of the orchestra,
Right.
and then the other one was conducting the other half. And I was like,
That
what
was
is
Symphony
going
Number
on?
4.
But I like it. It's dancey. I love when they're like, get up and dance out of your seat. And I was like, literally, I want to do that.
Yeah, you know, you were at the Kinetic concert too.
Yes.
And Kinetic, they played a piece that was modern, but you know, it was more tonal. The tonality has changed for most of us. I mean, for the 20th century, some people are using the more jazz influenced tonality, and this goes back all the way to even like Ravel and Debussy, where they used a lot of kind of jazz influences in their music as well. Throughout the history of you know, turn this way. I keep your position, but turn towards me a little bit more. Yeah, you can even move closer to me if you like.
No, you fight. I'm just kidding.
I don't bite. Yeah, there you go. And then just get comfortable. I know you're adjusting your seat. That's better. Okay. So, and I guess you could say all way back since classical music had its beginnings, and especially in opera in the early times, we always had music that sounded or that copied, you know, popular music. So, and also music that copied other cultures. I guess the word is appropriated. And the word today has a bad interpretation, or there seems to be a stigma on the appropriation. Like if you see a white person dressed up in Mexican or South American outfits, you think like, why are they wearing it? But you know, people get mad. But well, we shouldn't talk about. I won't talk about my opinions on that. But it happens all the time in music. And it's something that composers like Debussy admired about Spanish music, and some other composers admired about Middle Eastern or Indian music as well. And there's lots of appropriation in the 1800s in opera. One piece called Lakme is an opera based on an Indian story. And so anyway, so when you heard yesterday, there's a Peruvian American lady who is still alive. I mean, very much alive, and she's very successful. She her music has this really cool sound that you heard, and is very modern, but at the same time takes its roots from the indigenous cultures of South America. And then the last piece you heard had a very similar idea. Pampiana, La Pampa is like this plateau area of Argentina, and so a lot of music that's in there is also indigenous, the rhythms that you heard. And in the first half, you heard the Romanian folk dances, and those have, a lot of the its roots in like gypsy music. The Brahms, it seems like was like the most normal piece, but he wrote a lot of music that had influences of Hungarian, gypsy, etc. So almost every composer we know, it was influenced in this way. So once you start seeing it like that, through this lens of like, hey, the composers are just regular people, and they're influenced by what's around them in their own time, and wow, and then you start to hear it differently, and then you learn to appreciate it instead of kind of wonder like, why did the composer do that?
Yeah, most of the time I was like, what is going on?
Yeah.
I don't, because she was like, I was like, maybe if I like listened to the music that was inspired by, I would understand it more, but like I enjoyed it. I liked the last one. I think that was my favorite one.
Yeah.
And you could tell she enjoyed it more. She was like put herself more into it, and so I was like, I like the last one, but most of the time when they're like, I'm like, why?
Yeah. Well, the more you know about music theory and form, and being able to analyze music, even the more contemporary or difficult harmonies, music with more complicated harmonies, I mean, the more you're able to appreciate it. The same thing with anything else. If, any art, painting, sculpture, also books, we know how to read, but then like if you read something that's really complicated, you may not understand it, but the more you understand that author, the better you understand like the whole work that they have. So you just have to start somewhere.
Yeah, I'm starting.
Yeah. Okay, let's do our warm up here. We didn't stretch. You want to stretch?
Please.
Okay. So I need to take off the coat. So we're gonna do the circles, ready? And try not to go. We get this wide circle here. We'll do that afterwards. But do a circle that's right, like beside you, like this. Yeah. And as far back as you can go. Like like here. Make the circle here. So remember, for you can follow the light here, the structures. Ready? And do 10 back. And swing. Let it like hang at the bottom. And 9, 10, and go the other way. 1. Reach back. Then you let it swing. Sometimes my neck gets stuck. And then the other one. Do you feel like your right side is more difficult than the left side?
Actually, I don't know. I think it's my left. A lot of my neck has tension. And like when I went to physical therapy, they popped it.
Wow.
And then I feel it's tense again. Cause like before I had the posture pegs, I would be like that, and so I think I
That's
just
too small.
naturally go
4,
that
5,
way.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, the way. Now here, after we do this, One. Now go a little bit wide. And just shake your neck as you do it. I think it's a good idea. Now here's one you could do. Grab your neck, and as if you're pulling yourself to that side. And then pull yourself the other way. And you could push yourself forward, see? And then back. And then you could roll your neck. It seems like a very tiny bit of stretching. It seems insignificant, but what you're doing is warming up this area. Blood is flowing. You're just moving. Before you grab the cello and start playing the cello, I think we need to just stretch out a little bit. Now let's do the shoulder shrugs. And together, down, front, together, up. I could hear.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Wow.
One that they taught me was they're called like angel wall. If you have a wall, you could just for your shoulders, because that's where I find tension. Yeah. You I think it's kind of hard because it's here, but it's like you're doing.
Ah.
And you
keep
do
your
this.
Shoulder blades there.
Yeah.
Keep them touching.
Yeah, you keep everything down. It's harder because this is here, but you your whole body. It's like.
Oh. Yeah.
And you feel it like in your neck and it helps. Because that's where I find my tension is right there.
Wow, it's good.
Yeah.
Wow. Now with cello, sit down with the cello. Here's one thing you do with the bow. Hold the bow, point straight out. Point. More. Now move that way. Stretch all that area, your wrist, forearm. Now keep your hand this way.
And
Do you feel that?
Yeah.
Try to keep us parallel to the no, you're going up. Stretch out. You want to stay parallel to the floor. So the hair is flat and parallel. You went up.
Yeah.
Look at my bow. It stays parallel as much as possible. Yeah. Don't hurt yourself. Now hold the bow with your left hand. It's that. So that's be perfect. But try to copy that same. Yeah.
That's weird.
It is weird, but it just way to stretch. You feel that?
Yeah.
Here's another very quick warm up. Yeah, put your bow down. You know how when you're in the swimming pool and you throw water at your friend, like.
Yeah.
So try to throw water and pretend you're trying to hit me with the water. Ready? And really throw up in the air. Now feel your fingers.
Hello.
I
can
fingers.
feel them.
Yeah.
Oh, you're awake now.
Yeah. It's very quick, and you could do 5 seconds of that. All we did was, maybe 3 or 4 minutes. But if you do that, it's as good as practicing 20 minutes. Now, because now you're warmed up. And I think also our brain wakes up a little bit. You kind of wake up a little bit. And, sometimes it's hard to practice in the morning or in the afternoon or after lunch, so
After lunch.
Warm up before you do it. The rule is this: warm up, and every 25, 30 minutes take a tiny break. If you still feel sore, do 30-second stretch. You don't need to do a lot, but just in your little break, take that. So let's do our little system. Ready, arc, roll over, and back. Ready, see how it's continuous. Stretch out, up and forward, down and back. Now let's play with the strings. Go. One more time. Now start the A string at the front. And so don't stop going. focus on the motion, focus on the arc. If it doesn't sound that great, it's not about that at first. It's about the movement of your arm, continuous movement following the arc. Second is don't worry about the rhythm. Don't make it like quarter notes, half notes, and it doesn't have to be even. But we don't want like right, no accents. And when it happens, meaning you're moving down. Moving back up. Remember this? Yeah, so that helps. Watch, it's my thumb, see? This is the one start on the A string. Let's start on the A string. Go. Okay, good. Yeah. Now let's do our pizzicato bows, and let's start in the middle today. And it's always going to be basically the same little area. In fact, one way to find it is kind of a fun way. This is a fun way. Let's just to have fun days. Monday fun day. Hold it on at the balance point. Hold the bow with your right hand.
I'm just paying attention to the person singing. Sorry, they're loud.
Yeah.
Why am I struggling?
You're going the wrong way.
Yes, I am. There you go.
Okay. Now smile. Measure your smile. With
Hello.
Measure your smile. Now, there you go. Now another smile. We're only going to be in this area of the bow, okay?
Okay.
Think of it as the middle third of the bow. So now, here's the C, here's the G, etc. See where it is? Go. And go. A string, and go. Now let's get on our string crossing exercise, and we can do exactly what's written in there, but we can also do some adapting. So adapting, just go to the first page, and we're going to do what we just did with pizzicato exercise, mixed in with a string crossing exercise. Go to the first page.
Everything is out of order. I'm sorry.
I think you had, let me see, that was the, turn around, the other one?
Is it this one?
Yes.
This one's the first one.
Yes.
Okay, there you go.
Well, so we're going to go like this. So, and watch my arm. It's always beginning or starting from the string. And lift, lift. As if when you pizzicato. Right? Ready, and go. And. Crossing strings here. And look, now G to A, go. Last one. Watch my arm, see? Up and forward. Down and back. Now, it takes some,
Yeah.
your brain is waking up, isn't it? So now let's do the same thing, except we're going to stay in the middle. It says to use the whole bow, but let's stay in that middle smiley section. My teacher, when I was undergrad, used to call it articulate and release. But we can call it pizzicato bow and connect. So, connect. Just follow through. See a nice forearm motion. 1, go. Pizzicato. Connect. Just read it.
Yeah.
You can read music, right?
Yes.
Ready, go. You focus on the pitch scale each time the same. Up and forward. You get right in the middle third. Now, before we go on, watch my elbow. See? If you could have a pen here, you probably would. It would be like a little circle, not a perfect circle, concentric. Elliptical. It's kind of like that, right? So let's try the skipping one. Ready, go. I want to show you something that's different between the lengths of our arms. So when I go to the A string, from A string to G string, watch my elbow. It stays on the D string level. I'm using lots of forearm.
Mm-hmm.
Now with your arm, you're probably going to use a little bit more upper arm, mixed in with that motion. But go find the D string level right here in the middle. Now raise your profile from the forearm first up to the A string. Now raise it down. Lower it to the G string. Yeah. So now let's go from A to G.
A to G.
Yeah, A to G, and then try to feel your forearm moving first before your upper arm. Go. Freeze. Now do the other way. G to A. Go. Now let's lower your arm a little bit, and I want you to keep your elbow in that similar position, and D to C. Go. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's something I struggle with is like the positions, and I guess it's because I have short arms, but I find myself, like even like in symphony, I stay like this in like the A string position the whole entire time, and I wear myself out. I don't know if that makes sense because I'm still trying to figure out the position. I just tense up and I just stay like this the whole time.
Well, it's interesting. We were all doing these exercises, and I see people struggling, and I keep reminding them, it's like, don't you remember we did this exercise?
Mm-hmm.
Why are we doing these exercises for? So, try to be. Hope you can be more aware as you're playing your music. There are moments in our music that's like, oh, this is just like that exercise.
Mm-hmm.
And so this exercise, we're starting with the arc of the bridge. We're getting to know how this space fits into our space, with our length of arms and all that. We want to memorize this measurement and how it fits into our body. Our body fits into it. Then we do it this way, and we do the pizzicato. So all the time we're just moving with this arc. And this arc is, copied here, the arc of the fingerboard, arc of the bridge. Right?
Mm-hmm.
There's arcs everywhere. Also, we're kind of holding the cello crooked, right? It's on this side, and the angles get strange. So and there's a lot of things. For example, like when you're doing a 400 meter, your 400 meter race. How are they lining up on the racetrack? Are they lining up like here's the line, and they line up like this?
No.
But how do they line up?
They like
stagger them, right?
Yeah.
So here's the first one, here's the second,
Yeah.
etc., like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because the people on the outside would have to run farther.
Mm-hmm.
So, in a way, we're also learning about our racetrack here.
I'm running farther.
You're just like trying harder and harder. So, do this little exercise a lot. Even if all you do is just this.
I do it during rehearsal.
Yeah. You're going to discover what your body's capable of.
Yeah.
And you'll be surprised how much easier it could be for you. So now, let's do our harmonics. And the first harmonic, the first finger, which is the ninth partial, that's a really hard one to do. So, but let's make it easier today. We want to do the pizzicato bowing, and so let's just do the triad on each string. The triad, like this, see. Let's try it. Ready? Remember, the bow's up by the bridge. The bow's it has a strong sound. It's not light, so really feel like you're digging in. But at the bridge, we have a lot of resistance to the string. It's very difficult. Why? Because there's a lot more pressure here. As the C is lighter, it's harder to push it down here. So we're really working with a relaxed hand at the frog, firmer fingers at the tip. Don't feel like it's because you have light fingers, you can have a light bow. You need to develop a good sound. And on the finger, here in the left hand, on the fingers, don't make them feathers. Maybe 15 to 20%. Okay? Ready, go.
Don't move.
Next one. Next one. Nice. Let's do it again. Remember the 1 o'clock position, which means you're a little more on the inside of the string. And see my thumb? And as you move over, watch what happens to my arm. It goes, it's moving. So don't stay in this position.
Okay.
Drop your arm as you need it,
Okay.
and raise it as you need it. Ready? Go. Like bells. You're not grabbing.
Yeah.
Ready? Go. So the grabbing has like a stop to it, meaning you're waiting for the weight. You're waiting for the wiggle. For us, we're talking about the wiggle.
Okay.
Sorry. It's okay to put a little space in there to make sure your bow is set. Ready? And.
Oh, let me do that again.
You push. Where's your first finger? Don't touch your first finger. Ready? Yeah. So your second finger, I think, is too close to your third finger.
Okay.
So as we go this way towards the nut, the fingers become farther apart.
Yeah.
Okay. Ready? And. But you started with the third finger too far. So between 4 to 3 is smaller than between 2 and 3.
Between 4 and
So you're doing this, see?
What is the correct?
You see, this is incorrect because
Okay.
the 2 and 3, you gotta
It's
move
that.
not too close.
Yeah, but.
See, look.
Now that I think about it, my fingers naturally do this.
Yeah, I think most people, it does that naturally. We have to fight that.
Yeah.
And that's why first position, although it's first position, easy position,
Yeah.
people play out of tune.
No. Okay.
Try it. 1, go. Next. Next. Lower your arm, relax it. Good. Excellent. Go to the second position. and this is the one we're having trouble with last time. 4, 2, 4, 1.
Do it for me.
Again, and then this time with extension. Next one, ready, go. Next. Oops. Yeah.
Look at me.
You did it. Thank you for practicing that. Now the next one is the harder one.
Yeah,
So-
I struggled.
Well, let's go to the third position and let's go to the D string. And this one in the third position. So check your first finger with open G. Third, that's fourth
Oh, wait.
position.
Wait.
So now,
Fine.
check third finger with open A. So now, this one, we're going to include all 4 fingers. And I'll give you the answer from the beginning. 1 and 4, those are octaves. So, try that.
I'm moving my hand.
Look, stop. Look at the third and fourth. Right.
Go away.
Either your fourth is too far away, your third is too far away. So let's see.
I usually think it's my fourth though.
Yeah, so then
But
maybe your
it's-
fourth is too far away. Now, here's a little trick. Although what we're trying to do is find what's behind the notes that are stopped, meaning the notes you put in weight in there, the notes we played regularly. We're sort of behind the curtain here. And we're like in this other world of harmonics. We could call it the other world. It is like another world. And let's just stop to think why we are doing this. One is location, because you see how hard it is to find the exact location. The node is like a dimple on the string. Professor Dunham calls it a little dimple on the string. And I want to show you on the C string how that works. So I'm going to play this harmonic here, the second partial, this note here, and watch I'm going to play it. I'm going to take it away, my finger, and you're going to see a little area here that is like a dimple on the string, and it's not vibrating. So see, it's vibrating here, vibrating there. You see the two strings. Part of the strings are vibrating half and half. Now, watch. I'm going to let go. You see?
So cool.
Now, I'm going to split it in 3. Look very carefully. From here to here is vibrating. From here to there is vibrating. From here to there is vibrating. Get closer, Beanie, because sometimes it's hard to see. You see the dimple right there?
Yeah.
Now I'm going to take my finger out. You're going to see it here too. Now,
Science.
Yeah, it's like-
Science.
Now, I'm going to go to that first harmonic you played today, which is the middle C, which we're about to get to in our what's it called, ringing tones. And now you can see 1, 2, 3. There are 4 parts. See the 4 parts?
Yes.
Now here's 5 parts with the third finger.
That one's harder to see. Okay.
I'm going to show you where they are.
Okay.
Yeah, it's harder to see.
Yeah.
Because there's more of them.
Mm-hmm.
Now here is 6. And then we have the 7th one. let's go back to the D string. We could check our fingers. And let's just play with stop notes, regular notes. So now let's play.
What was that?
1, 4. There you go.
Oh.
So sometimes we could find it and it's like, oh, we got it. Like, you're lucky.
Yeah.
But if you can't find it, just play the regular notes and then try to find
That's
it.
what I was doing when I was doing this position, because I could not, for the love of my life, find the
Yeah, I think
C1.
you're right. Your pinky is doing too much work.
Yeah.
Or stretching too far. So now let's go back. We're going to play 3, 1, 2, 4 on this.
This is the one I
No.
struggled on.
Listen, see, I'm being as careful as possible with my body, but not being tight. Because sometimes we're too careful. We're like walking on eggshells and we're a little tight. And I'm making sure that pizzicato bows are there. I stop. And make sure the bow is really into string. Ready?
3, what was it again?
3, 1, 2, 4. Yeah, no, but see your fourth finger? Almost there, but
Yeah,
you need
I
it
felt
looks like
it.
a little pretzel stick. You know, curve it. So if it can't be on top, think. Ready? And no, 3, 3, 3.
Oh.
Curve it.
Ooh.
Yeah, make sure it's in tune.
My
Okay.
fourth finger.
Higher. Yeah.
Okay.
Here we go. Better bow.
What am I doing? I feel like
Your
I'm like in La La Land.
your pinky is too far away.
Yeah.
So, one way to practice is the following. Play, think about what your tendency is. Yeah. So do the opposite. And if it doesn't work, then maybe you went too far the other way. So, let's try it.
Is it still too far? I feel like I'm like not do. Okay. Hello.
Feel that. You're not exactly with it. But exactly underneath.
Oh, okay.
Okay?
Hello. That's not at all what I'm doing.
I'll try. Oops. You almost had it.
I almost had it.
You tend to be on the flat side.
Yeah.
So there you go. It's still flat. Go. Stretch your third finger. Stretch. Yeah, you're right.
That was it?
Your third finger is not in the right place. I want you to do the following.
Okay.
Get your wrist over here and twist. Oops, sorry, twist it. Okay, do it 2 more times. Now try. Ready? And.
What the heck?
That was awesome.
What the? That's funny.
At this point, you should say, Dr. Signs, you're a genius.
Yes, like what the?
Okay, well, the point is that you're the 2 and 3
Yeah.
for all of us. They're kind of like they're like this is a normal thing. So
Fuck.
yeah, so we gotta practice. I mean, that's actually a good thing to practice. Let's see, watch this. Together, separate. Together.
We should make that an exercise, honestly.
But don't do these little exercises I'm showing you. Don't do it like all day long.
Yeah.
Because you're gonna wake up the next day incapable of moving your hand. It's good,
Mhm.
and you could really hurt yourself. Because the tendency in here, what I know from talking to doctors and other more experienced teachers than myself, is that we have a real big problem here if we exercise too much. We just want to stretch it out, and that's like 10 seconds. If you do like 2 minutes, it's already going to be done. So see what we did? Here.
That was crazy.
In between. Like this. And then keep them kind of curved. Don't keep them crooked like this. See? Keep them as if you're going to be playing, and then twist your wrist of your right hand right in between it. It goes from normal to wide, right? Like normal to wide. If you need more help, the end of your knee, like right on top of your knee, you can do this. But keep them curved. Try not to split them up this way or that way. Yeah. Right. There you go. Now, isn't that cool? Okay, so now, here's the time where we do our ringing tones. Can you show me some ringing tones?
Ooh, I haven't done these in forever. I remember.
First finger on the G string.
Excuse me.
So you did do 2 each. So.
Okay.
And I want you to listen 2 and then stop and listen.
So 4th and.
So 4, 4, 4, and then stay on the G string. 1, and go to the C string. 1. What did I say your tendency was? To do what? To play what? Play which way?
Flat.
Yeah. Fight your tendencies. Fight the power of your tendencies. Make them weak. So play it twice, and then listen. No. Can you listen? Ba, ba. Listen. Is it in tune or not? Don't go on until it's in tune. So you're not quite listening to your sound, but is good. You're more sharp. So we remember you doing your strings, so we trust that your strings are in tune. It's good for your brain.
Yeah.
Let's try it together. Ready? Go. One. Both the A and D string should be ringing. Go. First finger. Let the string ring above it. Again. Fourth finger. When you get to the middle, to the tip, don't press harder. Just feel like you're stretching out. See? Just make it pretty. You know, just go with the flow.
Okay.
The flow is the ringing of the string. Watch. Why?
You really am doing that.
Don't do that.
No.
It's like, you're gonna look like a bruja. Like,
It's Halloween. No, I'm just kidding.
yeah. I have to tell you a funny story. There was a lady who was a friend of my parents, and you know, she always was old, but you know, this was like when my daughter was like 2 or 3, and she was just learning to speak. And at that time, my mother was alive, and she was always speaking to her in Spanish. So she would know a lot. She knew a lot of words in Spanish, and so we visited this lady, and she lived in kind of a weird compound that was for retired people. And anyway, so we went to visit her just to say hello, and she was like 98, you know, but she was still, you know, walking around, and she could walk. She was like, you know, nice to us, and we were talking, and we went over. And so that day or the day before, we were watching like Hansel and Gretel or something, and there's like a witch in the middle of the forest, right? And we watched this old show, and Leela watched it, and my mom mentioned, you know, witch, you know, in Spanish, and so we were leaving, and Leela she was shy, she was, you know, so she was talking to us, but she wouldn't talk to her, and you know, we were, you know, she was a kid. And so as we were leaving, we were saying goodbye, and then the window was down, and my mom is in the back with my daughter, and they were saying goodbye, and Leela's just all of a sudden she's like, bye, bruja.
I knew it.
Bye, bruja.
Oh my
god. And my mom laughed so hard all the way home.
Like, roll up the window.
Stop it. But she said it really, I don't think she heard it, the lady didn't hear it.
Okay.
But she said it so we could hear it. We're like, whoa. Okay, no bruja here. Now here, first finger, and then stretch. When you stretch up, feel like this is a pitcher of water. You're pouring water into the cup. See? Pour into the cup. Do that by yourself? You do that. Now, can you just feel like the sound just stays the same, but without adding more pressure? Now you notice a little shaking, right?
Yeah.
So pour a little bit more water.
Okay.
Now let's do a little vibrato, make it pretty. Pretty?
Yeah.
Now here, watch how I move my body to help me. Or I go the opposite way. I can go forward too.
Ooh. That was nice.
That was a pretty one. Yeah. Now, the long tones you could do without vibrato, but once you feel like you got one that sounds really good, add a little vibrato, practice that. All these things are without vibrato, so we want to get our hand position relaxed without vibrato. Afterwards, you add the vibrato in, it's fine. I mean, you won't be tight, because if you start with vibrato and you're trying to look for the pitch, you're going to get tight. Vibrato is an ornament. It's makeup. It's jewelry on your beautiful sound. You know, our parents taught us this was on the inside that counts, but really for cello is how you look. Now, of course, doesn't mean how you physically look, but how you physically look with the cello. So that means, do you look comfortable? Is it easy to reach all the, can you reach all the notes? Can you stretch out to the edges of the bow and reach all the notes comfortably. Now, if you can do that without any pain or discomfort, then you're probably going to sound good. Now, we're going to feel good. And if you feel good, you're probably going to sound good. And that is the most important. If you don't sound good, then something's wrong with the first two steps. You don't look good. You don't feel good. You don't sound good.
Yeah.
So that means you have to, maybe you're sitting the wrong way. Maybe the end pin's too tall, too short.
Maybe you need posture pegs.
Maybe you need posture pegs. Maybe you need, maybe you need to work on the arc of the bridge.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you don't need to look like a bruja on the A string. You know what I mean?
That's going to be my term now.
Yeah, don't tell anybody. They're going to start calling you that.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, you know how our studio works.
Yeah.
It nicknames for everybody. So be aware of that as you're practicing. It's like, wait a minute, why is it so difficult?
Mm-hmm.
Playing the cello, playing any instrument really, but think about the cello as a little bigger. It's not as big as the bass. But they got us beat. They're really relaxed, and they really move with their instrument. We need to do more of that.
Mm-hmm.
The goal is the following: minimum effort, maximum results. Right? If you can work like 2 hours a day and make like $1 million, why not? Or maybe even 3 hours a week, and you're still making $1 million.
Yeah.
So. That would be everybody's goal, right? It's like, oh, I work 3 hours, let's go to Paris. It would be nice if we could do that. Now, obviously, we have to work hard. I mean, we have to practice. We have to persevere. And what Chloe said yesterday is really true. It's like, enjoy your life. And I think we all need to understand what that is for ourselves, and really practice your best now, because this time doesn't come back. At the same time, though, you leave some moments there where you can enjoy your life with your friends and family, etc., or things that you just want to do by yourself. Mm-hmm. So, okay. Now, at this point, we would play a scale. Play me B flat major. You start with 1 4 and 1 4. That's a 2. Yes. 1. So put your hand in second position. Put your hand in second position. Like this, without extension. To tune it. Second position.
What am I doing?
Second position. Stop. Second position, make that. Tune it. You're always low, remember. Higher. Okay, now fourth finger. Put all your fingers down without extension. Now extend. Go. Open. One down to 1. Go to 1. 1 on the D, isn't it?
I thought it was.
Okay, then.
What am I doing?
Where is it?
I have these memorized. I'm trying to memorize other scales. I should have looked back at my G-string scales.
G-string scales, we gotta look at them.
Yes, I had this memorized. I was wrong, obviously.
So let's start from the beginning. Let's remember how we found the extension. Find the position without extension. Put your fingers down. Now extend back. Right? Open.
Oh.
Go to 1, 2, 3. Then 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. All the way. Make it You're almost there. Keep going. It's like the top of the mountain. Go. Three. 4. Down. Up bow. 4th finger. Go to 2. Up bow. Down bow. Good. Just because you're around the corner from your house doesn't mean you're going to take your seatbelt off, okay? Because some jerk is going to fly through a stop sign and kill you.
Yeah.
Okay, so, and you're coming back home to B flat, you need to, what?
I'm sorry. What?
You forgot your bowing.
Yeah, yeah.
Don't
I was
neglect
focusing
it.
on this.
You gotta focus on
Yeah.
that. We're like air traffic controllers. There's a lot of things we gotta focus on.
Yeah.
Okay, good stuff. Now, do you have a class after this? Well,
11.
Ethan is not coming. He said he's sick. So why don't we let's play some popper and just spend another 5 minutes on the popper before you go.
I was like, that's not my fault. 'Cause, oh, okay, and so this is where like the G string, D string level stuff comes to play, doesn't it? Because I go from right. Okay, so.
So let's talk about how you
Yeah.
can practice. You can practice pizzicato. So and this is how you do it. The left hand needs to be in place before the pits. So this will help your left.
You got it.
Break it. So watch here. Finger pits. Finger pits. Finger pits. Finger pits. Just like finger bow. Finger dead. And what that means is that the finger is actually down. And they're almost half a beat before. Ready? Pits or finger bow?
Or what?
Finger pits, finger bow. Good. Ready? Let's do pits. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Finger pits, please. Don't pay attention to the silly boy over here.
I always mess up. I don't know why. That part trips me up. I'm like, look ahead, but then I look ahead and then I trip myself up even more. I'm like, that part I need to work on.
I like it.
I like it too. I was like trying not to pay attention to you, but it was hard.
Okay, now next thing you do,
Okay.
and we're just talking about how to practice here.
Okay.
So when you go back to practice, you have an idea. The finger pits Now finger bow with pizzicato bows now. Let's try a little slower. See, finger before the bow. Ready? And as you lift the bow and place it, your finger's getting ready.
Where are we supposed to be? In the middle?
Yeah, try in the middle. Yeah, for now, it's easier in the middle. Just like how we did our exercises. Ready? Go. Finger. 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 Get there sooner. Lift your bow so it helps. Okay. Yeah.
Am I doing it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Lifting the bow a little bit higher is also helpful.
Okay.
And watch what happens. Lift. And your finger has a little more time. Even more extreme hits of pizzicato bow.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, right.
Sounds good. Oh, may I have a rubber band?
Oh,
If you have them with you, it's fine.
can you send me a message and I'll bring them, Mayana?
Sounds good.
Because I have like 1,000 of them. I
You're
should
like,
have.
Rubber bands.